Look, I'm editing right now, and while I'm going back and watching the video, I noticed that at certain parts my audio kind of sound weird. It's because I didn't check my screen recording audio before I started the stream. So I'm gonna work on that next time, but y'all gonna have to bear with it this time because I was really spitting, so I'm gonna post this video anyway. I feel like people need to hear this. Alright, we better watch Sales School with Jordan Belford, Wolf of Wall Street. I'm finna click this on and then I'm gonna bring up some things that he talk about, but I'm gonna kind of apply them to different situations outside of just sales like he talking about. But I'm gonna let it play and just show how it go.
I'm Jordan Belfort, and this is Sales School.
Hold on, wait. Let me switch it to the right. There we go.
How do you harness the power of negativity and flip it positive? How do you create that boomerang in your life? Well, step number one is drawing that proverbial line in the sand. Until you get to the point when you say to yourself, no more. I'm done feeling like it. I'm done being the victim. I'm done pointing the finger of blame. And you look within yourself and find your best self, to really see yourself as you are, not worse than you are, but to really see yourself and connect with yourself. Nothing can happen until you address that. Are you ready to make the changes? Are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to accept responsibility for your role in whatever went wrong? Whatever that may be, whatever aspect of your life it was in. Are you ready to expect your part in it? Learn from that and grow from that. That's one big part of it. The second part is possessing the actual skills for success that are required to leapfrog over everybody else. Let me just tell you the bottom freaking line here, guys. All right? Most people live average lives. You know why? Because they're average.
Finna change the
Average. Because they deserve to. Because they chose to not invest enough in themselves, and they weren't born with any amazing differentiating skill. And they said, okay, here's who I am. I'm not extraordinary. See, I don't buy into that of every human being is extraordinary. I think that's a load of nonsense. I think very few human beings are extraordinary. What makes human beings so amazing, though, is you don't have to be born extraordinary. You can become extraordinary through sheer hard fucking work, through dedication, through learning, through absorbing knowledge, through practice, through repetition, through teamwork. You can become extraordinary. What does that mean? Well, I'm the first to admit, I'm not the average bear when it comes to my ability to influence and persuade. I was born with an extreme gift. I just was. Thank you, God, or nature, whatever you believe, right? I was born with an extreme gift. That gift allowed me to effortlessly almost go out into the world and achieve things that other people couldn't achieve. Lead people, spread a message, devise a system. Seriously. Not being cocky here, I'm just being honest with you. Most people were not blessed with a gift like that that's so extreme that people say, oh my God, I'd never say anything like that. It's rare. But guess what? Do you know how many people I've taught this to, the gift I have? I've transferred the gift to millions of people, many of whom do it just as well as I do it right now. Or maybe if they don't do it as well, indistinguishably as well. To the point where that gift I have, they possess it at high enough a level that they can accomplish whatever they want to. It differentiates them. They're in that small class of human beings that can out-negotiate, out-influence, out-persuade, out-close everybody around them. And because of that, it allows them to achieve more. And because our brain is so smart, and because our brain future paces everything we do, when we become aware, we say, you know what?
Hold on, I'm finna rewind what he just said and talk about it.
To the point where that gift I have, they possess it at high enough a level that they can accomplish whatever they want to. Maybe if they don't do it as well, indistinguishably as well. To the point where that gift I have, they possess it at high enough a level that they can accomplish whatever they want to. It differentiates them.
All right, hold on. Here it go. Here it go. Now with what he just said, dang, nah. Now with what he just said, I feel like to really be able to put somebody else's greatness into yourself and like take that piece of them, you kind of have to adopt a little bit of the mentality that they have into yourself. Like more than just what they do, but like the way they think behind it, the way that they view whatever the object of what you're looking at is, like whatever it comes to, whether it comes to money or people or however, like you have to kind of adopt their mentality when it comes to how they deal with that subject to really be able to emulate it in your own way. That's how I feel about that. And that's a whole nother thing I could get into, but I'm gonna get into it later. I was really able to explain that pretty well, I hope. Let me know if y'all didn't fully understand that. I'll clear it up. But yeah, that's how I think you gotta kind of adopt a piece of their mentality to actually really do it how they do it in your own way with your own sauce. You have to kind of emulate, or not even emulate, but you gotta understand their view and then take what you can from it to do it your way.
Of human beings that can out negotiate, out influence, out persuade, out close everybody around them. And because of that, it allows them to achieve more. And because our brain is so smart, and because our brain future paces everything we do, when we become aware, we say, you know what? I might not have been born with an extraordinary gift, but through sheer effort, I forged myself into a weapon, into this apex predator for good. But I'm a predator. I'm in the apex. I'm the top of the heap.
And exactly what he's saying. If you wasn't born with the gift, you can always learn. Like, I'm a type of person, I kind of take the time to learn about a lot of different things because I like to understand people's mindsets just like that. But if there's something specific you want to learn, find one person that either is really good at it now, or maybe they was born with the gift. They was just extremely good at what you want to be good at, and learn how they think about it. Even more than what they actually do. Learn how they think about it, and learn how you can apply what they think to yourself, like what you can agree with and what you don't agree with. And it'll work better for you because it'll be more natural to you instead of you just trying to copy them.
Wow. Your brain says, you know what? Suddenly anything is possible. So my past failures, my past tendency not to take action when faced with opportunity, that no longer has to equal my future. Because I possess a skill now that differentiates me. That's sales. That's ability to close. But is that the only skill? No. Sometimes someone is born an average, above average athlete, like very solid athlete, but they weren't like Michael Jordan. Or even someone like Michael Jordan. What do you think made Michael Jordan Michael Jordan? Or Federer? Yeah, amazing God-given talent. But they spent extraordinary amounts of time forging themselves into superstars. The only reason I don't like to use a Michael Jordan or a Federer is so extreme, it's so rare, but there's people Like Matt Barnes, who was on my podcast, perfect example. He's a perfect example. Didn't have that level of a gift. Obviously, very talented athlete, physical specimen, right? 6'8", whatever. But he had to forge himself through sheer hard work and dedication to find his best self, his highest use, and became extraordinarily successful and wealthy as a result of that.
I think the next one gonna automatically play. I'm gonna just let it skip to the next one.
A CRM shouldn't weigh your budget.
I'm Jordan Belfort, and this is Sales School. We have this graph, and this is what's always funny. This graph about, 45% of communication is body language, 45% of communication is tonality, and 10% is the words. And when I first heard that, it was with Bandler and NLP, and I was like, that does not make sense to me whatsoever. Just doesn't. How could only 10% of my communication be words when, if I put myself in the other person's shoes, like I'm being sold to, when a salesman is selling me, I am hanging on their every word. I'm analyzing the meaning of each word, what the phrase means. You get it? I'm hanging on their words. So to say that 10% of communication is words just is on its face, it's a prima facie nonsense, right? And the interesting thing is that is out there. Like in the whole world of communication training and NLP, people just take that at face value. And the problem with it is that's not what Bandler had meant.
Hold on. Let me hear what he said one more time.
There were. So to say that 10% of communication is words just is on its face, it's a prima facie nonsense, right? And the interesting thing is that is out there.
Now, with this right here, it really is all about how you say it versus what you say. The reason it's how you say it is because of the way that you make people feel. It's not what you say. Well, I mean, if you say some real weird shit, it's going to throw people off. But really, with what you say, most of the time you can only make people not like you when you meet people or speak to people. So it's all in how you say what you say, how you make them feel through the things that you communicate without saying it. It goes back to what I said, when you got to understand the mentality of people to apply it to yourself. Like if you think about somebody who's scared to approach girls versus somebody who's really good at approaching girls, it's like if you can find some common beliefs in what that person that's good at approaching girls believes about girls in general, or just approaching in general, socializing in general, if you can find common beliefs that you can apply to yourself, then it becomes a lot easier for you to get good at it because it's genuine. Like you're not faking it to be like anybody. It's really you. You didn't copy that person. You found common beliefs. You said he believes this about this, and I didn't think about this, but I also understand this. I believe this, or you might understand it and disagree with it, but now you conscious of it. Now you know what is in common and what isn't. You can apply things to yourself from somebody that has a skill that you want. Drop questions down below if I ain't explained that good enough.
Like in the whole world of communication training and NLP, people just take that at face value. And the problem with it is that's not what Bandler had meant. Unfortunately, the people who teach NLP don't go into that at all. So when I started actually thinking it through, and when I really started, I first learned NLP before I created even Straight Line 1.0. Really 2.0, the box system many years back I created. I actually went through NLP training because I wanted to really understand my own strategy, and I was fortunate that Bandler read my book and we became good friends, right? But the point is that I hadn't really thought it through. When I first heard him, like 45, that strikes me as being just nonsensical, right? But then when I actually started to think into it, I said, oh, wait a second, I see what's going on. What it means really is that 90% of the time, we are communicating without speaking. You get it? Like, in other words, there's so much unconscious communication that if you took in all communication, you'd find that only 10% of the time the communication was a result of words. The rest of the time you're communicating through your body language and your tonality, grunts, groans, how you dress, how your facial expressions, right? Even a little laughter, how you laugh. All these things, that's what's going on. However, in those 10% of the times when you open up your mouth and actually speak, your words matter 100%. You get it? The words have to be right. The words matter. They matter more than anything. You know why? Because I'll tell you this. Because if the words don't add up, you can't, A, create an airtight logical case. It falls apart, which means you can't get someone to a very high number on the certainty scale, even for the first 10. And B, future pacing is done through words. It's done by constructing language patterns that allow the prospect to see themselves in the future using your product, your good, your service, using it in the future and feeling good about it. In other words, that you allow them to experience the benefits now that they would have to normally wait for in the future. And by doing that, you make it real in their mind. You can't do that without words.
See, and when he's talking about this, he's talking about with sales, but you can actually apply this to more than sales. You can apply this to socialization in general. It makes it a lot easier to get your point across when you know how to stack your words. Hold on, wait. My computer hella slow. Alright, there we go.
The words are everything.
But yeah, like, and even then, what works for one person won't always work for somebody else. Just because your beliefs don't completely match somebody's doesn't mean that it doesn't work, because there's other people. Like, people have clashing beliefs. It's all about whether you want to pick sides or if you think you can take something from everybody. Like, I'm the type of person, I feel like I can pick up something from everybody. But some people are more closed-minded. They feel, or not even, well, it is closed-minded, but it works for you. It works for you. So I respect it. But it is closed-minded to only kind of take opinions, or not even, well, their opinions. Yeah, their opinions for sure, because they can be proven, but also things that contradict with them can be proven. So it's really like different things work for different people. But don't think that you can't do something just because these people don't do it the same way you do it and they do it better than you. Because there are people that probably do it the same way you do it that do it better too. Sometimes it's just the little things. Sometimes it is big things, but it can be little things too that make all the difference.
One good way that you can help build urgency in the sale is asking what are called consequences.
I'm Jordan Belford, and this is Sales School. There are 3 things that you must be perceived as in those first 4 seconds, right? And let me tell you exactly what they are. In the first 4 seconds, you probably, all of you straight lines, you know this stuff is basic, right? Number 1, you must be perceived as being sharp as a tack. Number 2, enthusiastic as hell. And number 3, an expert in your field. Sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as hell, expert in your field. Now, no matter how many times I tell this to you, I'll never stop telling it to you. Because this is the holy grail of influence. Because here's the deal. What these 3 things chunk up to in the prospect's mind is that you are a person worth listening to. You're a person worth listening to. In other words, they should take time out of their busy day, their busy life, because you're someone who's sharp enough. You're meaning that you're on the ball. You're a problem solver. You're not going to waste your time or theirs. You're sharp, right? Versus being a dullard. Waste their time. Enthusiasm. It must be good. What you have must be good. Now, what I'm not talking about here is that bogus, over the top. My God, my pride. I don't mean that. It's not what I'm not talking about that type of enthusiasm. I'm talking about something very different. I'm talking about bottled enthusiasm.
And see, with this, you want to understand how you can apply this in different situations, because you can establish this in any kind of situation, friendly situations, business situations, anything. You just have to know how to read the situation and react accordingly. Like I said, that becomes a lot easier when you can understand the way that person thinks and then find what you believe in common.
Which is an entirely different thing. Bottled enthusiasm sits below the surface. And it's like a seething volcano. You speak a certain way where they just know that, wow, that guy's, he must really believe in what he has. It could be a whisper almost. But when you speak with real enthusiasm, it's undeniable.
I'm finna change the stream name one more time. I ain't finna keep on doing it, but I'm finna change it one more time. Alright, there we go. Oops. I think I just put this in theater mode. It'll be alright. There we go.
It's palpable and people get like, wow, what he has, what she has must be good. It hits them in the gut, meaning unconsciously. They say, whatever this guy has, it must be yours. That's why he's so excited about it. Now you might say, well, Jordan, come on, it doesn't really work. Let me tell you something. It does. I'm not saying someone's going to buy from you.
If you think that don't work, just look at your favorite YouTuber.
Just because you sound enthusiastic. It's not what I mean at all. What I'm saying is that enthusiasm opens up the possibility because they want to listen. And most of all, you're an expert in your field, meaning you're a figure of authority. You're someone that can get the job done. We have been conditioned since we're yay big, okay, to seek out experts to resolve our problems, take care of our pain, and help us get things done. When Scarlett Johansson wants to get her hair cut or hair styled for the Oscars, who is she going to go to? Someone who just graduated from beauty school? Seriously, right? Or the person that's been styling hair in Hollywood for the last 20 years, making celebrities look fabulous. Who is she going to seek out? The expert. When Roger Federer was having his slump in 2015, who did he seek out? Did he go to a local country club tennis pro? Or did he go to Stefan Edberg, a former #1 player himself, who'd been there, done it at the highest level, who knew how to talk to someone like Roger? And what happened? Roger went on to win another 3 or 4 majors, and he's still playing today, number 2 or 3 in the world. As an Adam, he's a fucking legend, right? And by the way, Roger's slump is like everyone else's best day. But the point is that who would he seek out? We all seek out experts. We've been conditioned since we're yay big to seek those people out to help us solve our problems, cure our pains, right? Start with our parents taking us to the doctor, and so forth. Those were experts when we were young. We're like, wow, the doctor, he's been through schooling, he had a diploma, he had a license, all this sort of stuff, his stethoscope. We felt better just by laying eyes on the guy, right? Let's get now practical about this, all right? This is about practical knowledge here. In those first 4 seconds, you are being judged. They are ripping you apart, compartmentalizing each piece, judging them, and putting them together based on how you're perceived. If you are perceived the right way, meaning sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as hell, an expert in your field, if you are perceived the right way, you set yourself up for massive greatness. If you're perceived the wrong way, good luck trying to close the sale. See, what happens is when your prospect perceives you that way, sharp, on the bull, expert, right? They defer to you. They allow you to take control of the conversation. You take control because the prospect allows you to take it. You can't take control by force. You take control by force of will because your prospect says, you know, this is a person worth listening to, and they defer to you because we've been conditioned to defer to experts since we were yay big. You get it? So that is an undeniable truth. It's been studied by Harvard University. Did a study on this recently, right? Where they said, you know, they said it's 7 seconds, but I don't know, it's 5 or 7. I beat them by 30 years to the punch. I said this in 2008, but the point, actually 1998. Wait, no, 1988. Holy fuck, am I old? 1988. Good Lord. I'm old, right? Anyway, I came up with this in 1988 when I was still a baby, right? The point is that Harvard 30 or 27 years later came out with the same story, but they said it's 7 seconds. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're screwed. If you make the wrong first impression, according to Harvard, it takes 7 subsequent meetings for someone to perceive you a different way. 7. You know, I don't know about you, but honestly, I don't get 7 chances. I got 1.
Bro, imagine you trying to link a girl and you fuck it up the first time. You gotta wait 7 more times to even, man.
So I better make that first impression the exact right way.
Balls blue as shit. L Ram. My phone. There we go. Let me see. I'm gonna go with this one. We're gonna come back to that.
I'm Jordan Belford, and this is Sales School. So, did you know you could use a single solution to get a consolidated cash flow report from different sources? Cinder can synchronize and get it .com. That's Cinder.world of selling now. While you only have to have 3 patterns, it actually behooves you to have more like 5. Because remember, not all customers will create equal. They have different needs, different beliefs, different values, different pain points. So I want you to have some extra backup patterns as well for when the sale drags on, because if at any point along the way you run out of intelligent things to say, you start saying stupid shit, you break rapport, it's over. So you need to have your backup patterns as well. 3 core patterns. You want to have 3
It's easier not to break rapport when you believe what you're saying.
patterns for product, 3 patterns for yourself, 3 patterns for your company, and those 3 patterns are
That's why it's important to be genuine and just find what works for you and is true to your beliefs, true to you.
designed, is structured to build upon each other. But you want to have your backups as well, and also if you're in, you know, like I guess it's like the more the merrier, but only if you need them. In other words, you want to have these reserve patterns here that sound great, that make sense. What you don't want to do is under-prepare yourself and get caught saying stupid shit. I'll go back to that sale that I made that day. In what, it was a mock sale, right?
But yeah, it is gonna be situations where you gotta stack what you know though. You're gonna have to do your research. For real.
It's being filmed, right? I kind of got the guy 15 or 18 minutes in. The last 4 minutes was sort of my ability to keep going and using the to really kind of box him in, but without doing something that would sort of say, he's full of shit. That's why you need to be able to go a bit longer. So you want to have your extra patterns in there just for safety's sake. But really, in reality, those 3 patterns, 80, 90% of the time, those will do the trick. Now remember, logical certainty opens up the possibility, and emotional certainty is what closes the prospect. And emotional certainty is based on 2 things. Number 1, the minor part is your ability to use tonality to get someone excited. So through the process of pace, lead, by you becoming more certain with your tonality, they feel more certain as well. That's far less powerful than the real way, which is through future pacing. You allow someone to have the benefit now of imagining themselves in the future, using your product, and feeling good. That's emotional certainty. So, a car, they're driving down the road, wind in their hair, top down, feeling sexy, feeling powerful, loving life. That's emotional certainty. Imagine down the road having as your broker, someone you can trust, build wealth over the long term, and you're retired, feeling great, knowing your money's working for you. That's emotional certainty. Knowing that your money's working for you, making your money, that's not going to work well until you believe it's so. Like, believing it's so is logical certainty, and imagining what it's like is emotional certainty. You get the difference? Believing it's going to be real is logical. Enjoying what it looks like is emotional. 2 together, fucking power. Bottom line. So that's the best I can do for you without actually having a specific pattern to write. And probably we'll do that one day. I'll show you how I actually do it. One of you'll send in some stuff, and I'll do it, and you'll see my actual process. But it's really just like that. It's just a matter of taking my core patterns and I figure out what sounds best, what's first, what's second, third, and I essentially use the rules of the straight line as my framework, and the rest, as they say, is history. All right? We'll talk again soon. Take care.
You gotta remember this.
I'm Jordan Belford, and this is Sales School. So did you know you could use a single solution to get a consolidated cash flow report from different sources? Cinder can synchronize all the necessary payment details like inventory items, taxes, discounts, locations, details. There are 2 types of people in this world. I have 4 boards here for a reason. On one side of the equation, we have what are called reason people. And reason people are the ones that gives you all the frickin' reasons why they can't go out and become successful. They are filled with reasons. It costs too much money, I have to work too hard, I have to travel too far, I have to risk taking, and I call them ducks. Quack, quack, fucking ducks. Quack, 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 right? Those are basically the losers in life. We call them ducks. And these ducks, they always tell you the reason why they can't get successful. And they wallow around in a duck pond filled with duck shit and don't really ever go anywhere. They're so sold on their own story, the story they create up here, their own narrative, the tale they create about why they can't get what they want. And it's actually the story that they tell themselves.
Yo, she scared me in the back taking them photos. But yeah, what he's saying important though, like Hold on, I'm gonna let him finish though.
About why they can't get what they want.
No, I'm not. You really gotta just do shit sometimes, even if you don't think it'll work. You gotta kind of try so you can fail, and then after you fail, you gonna be like, okay, now I learned this. I learned this. Let's try it again, because you gonna get somewhere. If you really doing something that you want, if you trying something that you want to do genuinely, then even a little bit of progress is gonna make you feel a type of way and gonna make you want to try again. If you a go getter, if you not, I don't know what to tell you. But if you really want it, even a little bit of success is gonna make you want to go again. Like if you trying to make money outside your job, if you make $10 in a month, but you didn't make nothing last month, you gonna want to try again. That's just how I go.
That stops them from getting what they want. They're so ingrained, they're so sold on their own story about it's their parents' fault, it's the government's fault, it's society's fault, it's their boss's fault, it was their third grade teacher's fault, it's their mommy's quack, 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 fucking quack. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Those are the ducks of the world. And we all know them. We know some of them. And on the other side of the equation, you have what are called results people. Results people. And these are the people who just get shit done.
What I just say.
They get results. They don't buy into a bullshit story. They take action. They overcome.
Just do something, like just try. And even if it don't work, you gonna learn something and try again. And eventually something gonna work. You gonna get closer to where you want to be. So just keep on doing shit. It's okay to fail. It's okay to suck.
They either find a way
Pause on that.
or they make a way. And I call those people eagles. We call these people eagles because they soar. Eagles soar and they get shit done. These are the people that end up getting rich in life. They get promotions at work. They become top producers. They start successful companies. They employ other people. They take care of their parents. They help out people in their community. They solve people's problems. They're eagles.
Like, you got to think about what type of person do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And then you got to decide how committed you are to becoming that person or staying like who you are. Like, and it's also a really big thing. You have to be willing to change. Like, you have to be ready and willing to change. And you have to make a real decision to change. And it might take a lot. It might be a big change. It might be scary, but you still got to take the risk. You got to make the decision. That's the only way shit can change. Like, if you want to be different, it can get better or it can get worse. So you change and then you do everything you can to make that change the best change instead of the worst change.
And then you have the fucking quack, quack ducks, right? And here's the truth. Ready? I have some good news for you. In this room, in this entire room, filled with all these people, there's not one single duck among you. There are no ducks here. There's not.
That means it can't be no ducks here either. Let's go, chat.
And you know why I know that? You know how I know that? Because ducks don't come to these rooms. They won't come. They will never walk in the door. Because when a guy like me, who shoots it straight, who gives you, because by the way, just so you know, when I'm done with this whole thing, I'm just going to give you strategy. We're going to get into strategy, how to make money. But they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear about how they can become successful, how they can pull themselves up by their own bootstraps and drop that narrative. They're too invested in their misery and their failure, and their mediocrity and their averagism. They don't want to know this. They won't come to these rooms. So there's not a single duck among you.
And if you feel like despite all that, you might still be that type of person, you gotta know that it's never too late to change. Like, you can stay the same way, but once you decide to change, even if you're 40 years old, you gonna be different. Like, all the change you want is gonna take time, but the day you decide to change, something about you has changed because now you've decided that you're gonna make different decisions.
And that's a good thing. You know why? Because one of the hardest things to do in the world is to turn a duck into an eagle. It's like fucking impossible. It is real. I'm good, guys. I
It's hard as fuck, but I just told you how to do it.
think I'm probably better at this
If you a duck, find common beliefs from eagles. Find what you can apply to yourself. Make it a part of your mentality and get to work.
than anyone in the world, really, of making people rich. But I can't turn a duck into an eagle. It's fucking impossible, right? But there are no ducks here. But let me tell you what there are, what there's a lot of in this room. And this is true, I promise you. We have thousands and thousands of people who are eagles here, but you've had your wings clipped. Something happened along the way. You were born an eagle. You were born to be great. You deserve to be great. You have the DNA, the genetics to be great, but somehow you got your wings clipped. Either you went into business and failed, maybe you grew up in the wrong family, they told you things that inserted limiting beliefs in your head. You ended up in a very, maybe you took a chance and just, shit happens. Listen, honestly, we live in a world.
I'm not gonna speak on it now, but he just made me realize something.
Where shit happens. That's why they have bumper stickers that say shit happens, because shit does happen. You're walking along, you're doing everything right, and bam, you get hit between the eyes with a lump of elephant shit. It just happens. And it sometimes is no fault of your own. But eagles will move through that. Eagles overcome and they get shit done. But what happens sometimes is when you go through a bad spell,
You ain't even listening.
something happens. I find very often that we have eagles that start thinking like ducks. But you're still an eagle. And guess what? For all of you here, I'm here to give you your wings back. That's why I'm here today. Does that sound good? Yes?
And that's why I'm here today.
Yes or yes? Da?
He telling you about it, but I'm explaining how to do it. I'm gonna really give you the keys. We really gonna get to work, because that's what I'm all about.
Because here's the deal. The stupidest, the fucking stupidest thing I've ever heard said in the self-development world is this. Number one stupidest thing. I want you to jump and grow wings on the way down. What a load of bullshit that is. Let me tell you something. If you jump and just without knowing what to do, and you just try to grow your wings, you'll crash into the fucking ground and die. And when you're on the ground, your enemies are pissing on you and giving you the finger. It doesn't work. You can't jump and grow wings. What you have to do is learn certain skills. There's certain things you have to know. Certain rules of business. How to start a business, how to grow a business.
Hey, I'm living through this live right now. That's crazy.
How to sell, how to market. There's certain basic rules. Now, here's the difference. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to grow big, giant wings. What you want is like little nubby wings, little small wings, like winglets. But enough that when you start flapping, they get stronger. So when you jump, you start sinking a bit and sinking a bit and sinking. But
You start getting, you're flapping like fucking crazy. You're working your ass off, 18-hour days, and you're learning, you're growing, and all of a sudden, boom, you soar to success. That's the way it really is in the world.
Notice, when you make the decision to change, you might not have your wings yet, but you don't get everything when your wings is 7 feet wide. You pick it up when your wings first start popping up. So once you first start making those right decisions, it's not right when you make the decision that I'm going to change, but it's when you're tested on that decision that you're going to change. When you have to actually make a conscious decision to change, when you have to say, no, I'm not going to do this no more, or I'm done with that, I'm done with this person, I'm cutting this out, I'm finna move here, whatever that decision is. Once you make a real decision of change, not the decision to change, but a decision of change, that's when you're going to start to get them wings.
You can't jump.
And you got to learn. You got to learn from failure, but you also got to learn from success. You got to learn what works.
You can't leap without looking. You got to know what you got to do. You want to model people who are successful, and there are certain very basic strategies that I can teach you very quickly that will really help you grow those little wings, those winglets, so that when you jump, you can succeed and make massive money and get fucking rich. Because let me tell you something. I've been a rich man, and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time, and I never look back, ever.
And don't ever let nobody tell you that rich people is depressed because they're rich. If they're depressed, it's because of some other stuff they got going on in life. It's not because of the money. Money is not making nobody any sadder. I promise you. I don't even got that much, but I know that much. But yeah, on that note, I'm going to probably end this right here. But yeah, go ahead and follow, subscribe, whatever it is. Because that's what I'm finna be getting into from now on. I'm probably finna do a little bit of everything I like on here. I might do little like horror night type vibes or like game nights and stuff. But I'm going to be a lot talking about business, mindset, change, life, relationships, social, all that. I'm going to be talking about my life, story times, all that. And it's all going to focus on a topic. Like, I'm going to be doing a lot, but it's all going to attach together. So it's not just going to be a mess. Like, I got a real plan for this. I can't wait to show y'all. But yeah, go ahead and fuck with me wherever you want to. You see, I got all my stuff lined up right here. Go ahead and follow them. And I'm going to fuck with y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching too. If y'all got any questions, if I ain't explained nothing deep enough, go ahead and let me know down there. And I'm going to catch y'all later.